Welcome back to Daily Harmony, our journey through A Course in Miracles.
Yeah.
Today we're diving into Lesson 133.
Ooh, this is a good one. Building on what we've been exploring, this lesson really challenges us to examine what we truly value.
I know, right? It's Lesson 133, and the title is so direct, I will not value what is valueless.
It really cuts to the chase, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And like all these lessons, I think the simplicity is deceptive. There's so much to unpack beneath the surface.
Absolutely. The heart of it is about recognizing that true and lasting worth isn't found in the fleeting things of the material world.
It's about shifting our focus to the spiritual realm, to those qualities that bring genuine peace and happiness.
Exactly. Things like love, forgiveness, inner peace, the kinds of things we've been talking about throughout this whole journey.
Exactly. And to really get into it, we've got a great collection of resources to guide us today.
Oh, we've got a lot to work with. We've got the A Course in Miracles Lesson 133 Study Guide, which
Yeah.
even has some quizzes to help us see where we might be, tripping up in terms of what we're valuing.
Ooh, quizzes. I love a good quiz.
Me too. And we've got ACIM Lesson 133, Discerning True Worth, which almost gives us a map for how to think about this whole concept.
Nice.
And of course, we have the lesson itself right from the workbook for students.
Can't forget the source material.
Nope. And to help us break it all down, we have some really insightful analyses like Valuing True Worth, ACIM Lesson 133 Analysis, which dives deep into the meaning.
Very cool.
Oh, and there's Valuing the Valueless, A Course in Miracles Insights, which tackles some of the common questions people have about this lesson.
It sounds like we're well equipped for this deep dive. So, where do we begin?
Well, I think a good starting point is to understand what the lesson actually means when it says valueless. What are we talking about here?
Okay, yeah, that's a good place to start. What exactly is valueless in the context of this lesson?
Well, it's anything that doesn't ultimately contribute to our lasting happiness or spiritual growth or that deep inner peace that we all crave.
Okay, so we're not necessarily talking about things that are inherently bad or evil.
Right. It's more about recognizing that certain things, while maybe enjoyable in the moment, don't lead to genuine fulfillment.
Like what kinds of things?
Well, the lesson often points to our attachments to the material world. All those possessions we accumulate, the status symbols, even our achievements and how the world sees us.
So it's that whole idea of chasing external validation and thinking that's where our worth comes from.
Yeah, it's like we're looking for happiness in all the wrong places.
I was just reading in Valuing the Valueless about how we tend to project our hopes onto things. Like we think, oh, if I just get that new car or that promotion or that perfect relationship, then I'll finally be happy.
Right. It's that if only thinking, like happiness is always just out of reach, waiting for us to achieve the next thing.
But the lesson is saying that's an illusion, right? That chasing those external things won't actually lead to lasting satisfaction.
Exactly. It's like chasing a mirage in the desert. It always seems just a little bit further ahead, but you never actually reach it.
So what does the lesson say is truly valuable?
It points to the spiritual realm, to qualities like love, forgiveness, inner peace, compassion, authentic connection with others.
The things that really matter.
Yeah, those are the things that actually nourish our souls.
I think I'm starting to see the distinction here. But why is it so important to understand this difference between what's truly valuable and what's not?
Well, of course, suggests that valuing what is valueless actually hinders our spiritual growth. It's like we're getting sidetracked by all the shiny objects.
It's like we're so focused on the temporary, the external, that we lose sight of what's truly meaningful and lasting.
Exactly. And when we recognize true value, it's like a whole new world opens up. We start to see ourselves and our connection to the universe in a completely different light.
It's like we're finally waking up from a dream.
It is kind of like that. And with that awakening comes a deeper sense of peace and happiness.
Because we're no longer dependent on external things for our sense of worth.
Exactly. We find that peace and happiness within ourselves.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But how does this understanding of true value actually play out in our relationships with others?
Well, when we value things like love, understanding, and genuine connection, our relationships become much more fulfilling.
Because they're based on something real, something deeper than just superficial qualities.
Right. It's not about what someone can do for us or how they make us look good. It's about a true heart-to-heart connection.
So how do we start to integrate this lesson into our daily lives? I know the sources we're looking at today mentioned a few specific exercises,
Yeah, they do. There's one called daily reflection, where you take a few minutes each day to consciously identify a non-material value that resonates with you.
like kindness, gratitude, something like that.
Exactly. And then you reflect on how embodying that value contributes to your happiness and peace.
It's about bringing those values to the forefront of our minds, making them a conscious part of our experience.
Exactly. And then there's another exercise that focuses on letting go of attachments to material things.
Does that mean we have to get rid of all our stuff?
Not necessarily. It's more about shifting our mindset.
How so?
Well, the exercise involves visualizing your life without a particular object that you're attached to. And then you think about how you could redirect the energy you've been giving to that object towards something more meaningful.
So instead of obsessing over a new gadget, you might spend that time connecting with loved ones or pursuing a creative passion.
Exactly. It's about freeing ourselves from those attachments that are weighing us down.
I love that. It's like mental decluttering.
It is. And there are other things we can do to live more in alignment with this lesson.
Like what?
Well, we can start by becoming more aware of where we're placing our value and our attention. Like, before we make a decision, we can ask ourselves, is this really contributing to my lasting peace and growth?
It's like checking in with our inner compass, making sure we're headed in the right direction.
Exactly. And we can make a conscious effort to prioritize experiences and relationships over material possessions.
Because those are the things that truly enrich our lives.
Right. It's about creating memories instead of accumulating things.
That's a great way to put it.
And finally, we can practice mindful consumption.
What does that mean exactly?
It means being more aware of our spending habits and why we buy the things we buy. Are we buying out of genuine need, or are we trying to fill some kind of void?
It's about breaking free from that cycle of consumerism that tells us we need more, more, more.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that true fulfillment comes from within, not from what we own.
So to help our listeners put this all into practice, do you have a simple exercise they can try right now?
Absolutely. Let's do a little experiment. Right now, think of one thing you've been valuing that's mostly material or external. It could be a new purchase, a status symbol, or even someone else's approval. Got it. Now shift your focus to a relationship or an experience that brings you genuine joy and peace. Maybe a heartwarming conversation, a moment in nature, anything that fills you with a sense of true connection.
Okay, I got it.
Now just spend a minute or two really feeling those two things. Notice the difference in how they feel. Which one feels more like true and lasting fulfillment?
Wow, that's a powerful exercise. It really highlights the difference between fleeting satisfaction and true joy.
It does, doesn't it? It's all about recognizing where true value lies.
This has been such an insightful exploration of Lesson 133. It's amazing how much wisdom is packed into such a simple statement, I will not value what is valueless.
It is, and it really speaks to a central theme of A Course in Miracles, that this idea that true happiness and peace are found within, not in the ever-changing world outside.
It's about peeling away the layers of illusion and recognizing our true nature, the part of us that is connected to something much greater than ourselves.
Exactly. And as you go about your day, ask yourself, where are you placing your attention? What are you giving your energy to? Are you valuing the things that truly matter?
That's a great question for all of us to reflect on. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into Lesson 133. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and share it with others. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next exploration. We'll see you tomorrow for another journey into A Course in Miracles.
See you then.